All right. Well, um, I think let's get started. Are we all ready to make some cocktails or mocktails, whatever your heart desires tonight? Um, However your day was will reflect the concoction you make today, probably. Um, it's really great to see so many people online. My name is Miley Au, and I'm the Senior Executive Director of Alumni Relations for the university. And I really have the honor of having a job like this where, we get to meet so many wonderful people. We get to interact with so many alumni who are doing just really cool things. And a spinoff of this has been this Holoholo series that we created. And the goal of the Holoholo series was really to be able to embrace and support some of the things that our alumni are doing and give their story a voice. For so many reasons, that's just powerful. You can hear their journey and it can inspire you to kind of pave your own path. It could inspire a kid to join the university. And then it's just fun, right? Something like this is just fun. So, we would hope to do some of these in person one day soon. But for tonight, we're really excited that Pono Potions has agreed to partner with us and do this event. So Pono Potions specializes in producing all natural and locally sourced artisan syrups, and they can be used in coffee, culinary creations, and of course, cocktails or mocktails. They donate part of their proceeds of each bottle to the Hawaii Food Bank, and I'm sure that the food bank definitely appreciated that this year. And so we're really excited that tonight we have the CEO and founder, Peter Hessler, with us, and his team, Madonna Castro Perez and Christy Lay Hessler. So I'm going to do a quick introduction, and then I'm going to let them actually share their story with you. So Peter is a 2020 Tim School alum, and he recently won the Student Entrepreneur of the Year award from the Hawaii Venture Capital Association. Congratulations, Peter. And he worked as a cook in Portland at some fine dining restaurants, and then he worked, including under Bravo TV's Top Chef runner-up, Gregory Gordeau. Sorry. So Peter's love for cooking kind of developed into a love of mixology, and he moved to Honolulu in 2016 and became one of the original bartenders at Moku Kitchen. I am a huge fan of Moku Kitchen. I was really sad when they were closed down and realized that they started doing takeout cocktails in like adult Capri Sun pouches, which was genius. So Peter, love Moku, can't wait for what happens tonight. And then with him also is Madonna. Madonna was born and raised in Guam and is a second-year law student and an Ululehua scholar at the William S. Richardson School of Law. She received a master's degree in Pacific Island Studies from UH Manoa in 2009. And among many other accomplishments, she also runs an Instagram food blog that highlights her love of exciting dishes. I'm going to need to go and follow that. And then Christy Lay is a 2013 William S. Richardson School of Law alum. She's a practicing attorney in the state of Hawaii. She has assisted Pono Potions with getting trademarks, drafting contracts with coffee shop clientele, and advising the company on organic, vegan, gluten-free, and made in Hawaii certifications. I hear it's not easy to go organic, so kudos to you. Anyway, now everyone does not want to hear me today. So I'm going to turn it over to Peter and his team. And they're going to share with you their story, and let's make some drinks. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. We're really excited, and we hope you enjoy it.
Great. Thank you, Miley. It's an honor to be here, like you said, with my team for Pono Potions. We're a relatively young business. We just started in 2019 when I was a senior at the UH Tim School. And since then, I've graduated, and we're really focused on growing and making as many connections as we can throughout the community and the UH Alumni Network. So we're so excited to be here tonight. So I'm just going to get started by telling you a little bit about myself, how I got started, how UH helped me, and some of the programs I was in at UH. So like I said, I'm a Tim School graduate, travel industry management. So really, I used my Tim School education to help me through the business planning process and really understand what it was like to work and start a business here in Hawaii. Also, while I was attending UH, I was enrolled in a lot of extracurricular activities. I took advantage of many PACE programs, the Pacific Asian Center for Entrepreneurship. In the spring semester of 2020, we actually entered the UH Venture Competition. And after a whole semester of work and pitches, the three of us here won first place. So that was very exciting. And with that came a lot of support from UH financially and just their wealth of expertise throughout the UH Alumni Network, helping us with marketing and really just getting our product out there on the market. So that was really our jumping off point just about a year ago now. And since then, Pono Potions has really grown in retail and wholesale. So on island, our main clients are Kai Coffee. They have 3 locations on Oahu. We also distribute to Bean About Town in Kaimuki and Le Crepe Cafe in Manoa, and hopefully one day again at the UH Manoa campus. We also have new retail clients. We're distributing to the refinery at Kahala Mall and also Namea Hawaii at Ward. And we've also partnered with Old Poly Road Distillery, who makes Old Poly Road whiskey to feature our syrups in their cocktail recipes and sell them at their store in Kailua. So that's really awesome. So this is especially exciting to me because I'm a recent alumni. I just graduated last semester. So really, I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for being here and just welcoming us into the alumni community. And really what it means for me to be a UH alumni is giving back to Hawaii and the school and just being a part of this extended community throughout the United States and internationally. So one of the great things about Hawaii, about doing business here and living here, is the sense of community we have for each other and also our surroundings. And that's why we try and tie all of that into our products at Pono Potions with the ingredients we use, giving back to the food bank, and also just staying active in our community. So for future plans for Pono Potions, we really want to continue expanding in the retail sector and reach out to larger grocery stores like Whole Foods and Down to Earth. And we would also love to start distributing throughout the West Coast and even possibly Japan and the Asia Pacific markets. So everyone who isn't in Hawaii right now, hopefully you'll be able to get some Pono Potions very soon at your local supermarket. And yeah, one of the other cool things is that we just relaunched our website, ponopotions.com. So you can always go on there and order your syrups, and we ship to all 50 states. So you can definitely keep up with what we're doing and all our newest flavors. Do you want to? Yeah, so with that, I'm just going to share my screen really quick so we can take a look at the website, and I'll show you real close how to order and everything we offer. So just bear with me real quick. Okay. So again, it's just www.ponopotions.com. Whoops. And then here, you'll be able to see kind of our philosophy and also the local farms we work with and our featured products. And of course, our newest arrival this month is Olena pineapple, which is Oahu grown turmeric that we actually dehydrate and then boil with raw turbinado sugar and organic pineapple. We just switched to these new 8-ounce bottles, which provide cocktail recipes on the back. Since COVID started, we really wanted to shift our focus more towards the cocktail market so people could feel a little bit better when they're stuck at home. Another thing we do every week is we're at the Lokahi Kailua market from 9 to 1 o'clock. on Ulu New Street. So this is the best place to come and meet the team and also try one of our seasonal lemonades. We make a different lemonade with our syrups every week. So there's always something new to look forward to. And for all of you on the mainland, if you would like to try more of our syrups, just go right up here to the shop page. And you can check out all of our flavors. We also started making these candied Big Island macadamia nuts. And these are the same macadamia nuts we use to flavor our macadamia nut syrup. So they're all natural and organic from Hawaii Island. And we'll just go to one of these. Ali'i Lavender is my personal favorite. It's great in both cocktails and coffee. We have the larger 12.7 ounce and then the smaller 8.5 ounce. And one thing we just started doing was offering Oahu delivery for our local clients. So at checkout, if you're local and would like to get your syrups delivered straight to your house, you can choose the Oahu home delivery option. And we do all of our deliveries on Saturday, and it's only a $5 charge, and it doesn't matter where you are on the island. We also ship priority mail throughout the United States, or you can pick it up for free at the Lokahi Kailua Market on Sundays. One of the pages I'm currently working on is the recipes page. We will be featuring a new recipe on here every week, which we will also link on our Instagram. So you can always check back for new fun things to make with your Pono potions. But the main thing we want to get across is that it's not just for your morning coffee or making an afternoon cocktail, but there's so many things you can do with it, including cooking and baking. Like the vanilla and mac nut syrups are great drizzled on baked goods or even inside your recipes. So if you click on the cocktail recipes page, you can see some of our featured cocktails. And today we're actually going to be using the ginger syrup to make a mule. So that's a classic cocktail with lime and ginger. And then we're also going to use the hibiscus syrup in our hibiscus ho'opono a little bit later on. And finally, as mentioned earlier, we did win some exciting awards this year, the venture competition, and most recently, the Student Entrepreneur of the Year at the HVCA Awards. So I think that includes our tour of the website. Thank you all for bearing with me. And I'll just stop this screen share. Yeah, thank you all for sticking around for that little tour. And I'm going to turn it over to my two colleagues. I have my sister here with me, Christy. She is an attorney. And then my colleague, Madonna, who is currently in law school. So ladies, why don't you take it away?
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Pete. So yeah, I am the older sister. We both grew up in the Northwest. Our mom is from here, from Oahu. Our dad's from Portland, Oregon. So they raised us over there. We grew up coming to Hawaii every single year, visiting our grandparents and our cousins. I personally always wanted to live in Hawaii at some point in my life. So when I was thinking about where to go to law school, University of Hawaii was always right there at the top of my list. And then I found out, which I didn't know beforehand, but University of Hawaii actually offers in-state tuition to all Native Hawaiians, no matter where you live. So that's really what put it over the top for me. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to go to Hawaii. And at first I kind of thought, I'll go there for 3 years and then move back to the mainland, California or Portland. But then I got here and I just fell in love with it. It almost instantly didn't really want to live anywhere else ever. So, and I love the community too. There's such an incredible network of people that come from UH Richardson. So it really just felt like the perfect place to practice. Which was very fortunate because one of my first jobs out of law school was as an attorney at the Legal Aid Society of Hawaii, which is where I met Madonna. She was my paralegal, absolutely incredible paralegal, so talented and so incredibly helpful. And we would spend almost every single one of our breaks talking about food, about starting businesses together. I introduced her to Pete, and she just fell in love with all of his cooking. I would bring his like breads and different things into the office and share with her. So we had Post-it notes up on our cubicles with different business ideas that we could start. So when Pete moved out here a couple years after that, and he was thinking of starting Pono Potions, it was just really like kismet that we could all help him and we could work together. And I also, like I said, Madonna was so talented, so I really kind of pushed her to think about going to law school. And I even wrote her recommendation to get into the law school, so I was very happy when she got in. So it's been, a long time coming. Really, Pete's the one who comes up with all the recipes and everything, and Madonna and I are just so happy to be able to support him in any way. And I absolutely love it. I know they've kind of asked us to talk about our favorite syrups, so just one little anecdote, but I do work downtown now for a law firm, and we have this Keurig coffee that makes like not very good coffee at all. And nobody was using it when I started working there. Everybody was going on spending, like $4 or $5 on coffee every day. So I brought in a couple of the syrups. I brought in the vanilla, the lavender, and the coconut, and almost instantly everybody started drinking coffee at the office. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. You're saving us so much money. So it can make even, not so good coffee really delicious and super easy. Just make it in the Keurig, pour maybe half an ounce in your coffee, and you're good to go. So I'll turn it over to Madonna so that she can introduce herself a little bit before we get to the cocktail demonstration. Thanks so much.
Wow, thank you so much, Christile. This is this is awesome. It was really fun to work with Christile. I was so bummed that she went to a private law firm, but then when Pete was going to UH and I started going to UH, it was awesome because we got to enter into the venture competition, and we used the venture competition as an opportunity to write a business plan and also to create a pitch. And it also helped us understand the venture capital ecosystem and how it's like to be an entrepreneur in Hawaii. So just being able to be exposed to that type of area was very fortunate of us, and we thank UH for that. So just a little bit about myself. I was born and raised on Sinahanya, Guam, Hafade, Todo Hamzuf, and I went to undergrad at UC San Diego, and I went to graduate school at UH in Pacific Island Studies. So how UH helped with my career? Well, going to the school in the mainland, there was no classes that centered on the Pacific. And UH was the only college that I knew of that specialized in Pacific Islands. So I wanted to know what is the role of Pacific Islands in relation to the world. I wanted to know, like, how do Indigenous people from the Pacific, what is their voice? What is their role? So it was great to be part of that program. And then I went to legal aid because I wanted to learn more about the law, and Christile totally pushed me to go into law. I was kind of scared, but she's like, no, you can do it. So thank you, Christile. Thanks for writing my recommendation. Thanks for pushing me to get into law school. And so here I am. So I got involved with Pono Potion. So just like what Christile was saying, is like we always had these random ideas in our head at legal aid. We were doing work, but at times when we're hungry, these ideas pop in our head. I'll be like, it'll be lunchtime, be like, wow, I really want a crepe cake, but there's no place that makes a crepe cake. So we'll like write these ideas. I'm like, what does Hawaii not have that we could bring? And then all of a sudden Pete moved to Hawaii and he started working for Moko's, and then he networked with people, and then through his networking he found that what Hawaii lacked was a all natural flavored syrup product that none of the coffee shops have. We wanted to use crops or ingredients that were grown in Hawaii and also have the sustainabilities, because it's the whole concept of like keeping the talent in Hawaii and also helping the economy in Hawaii. So this, like, I like the concept of he created, because not only are we helping the farmers in Maui and the farmers in the North Shore, we're also like contributing a portion of our proceeds to the food bank. And we also bring this idea that you can create a product in Hawaii. You can create a product that is sustainable and helps the local economy. So speaking of favorite syrups, my favorite syrup is hibiscus and the ginger one. I love sparkling water. My favorite sparkling water is La Croix Pamplemousse. So I'll just take a can of Pamplemousse, which is a grapefruit sparkling water, put like a teaspoon or two of the hibiscus and put some lime, and I'm done and I'm good. And it's like a refreshing beverage on a nice hot summer day. And then the ginger one, I like to make a mango green tea. I'll just get some mango nectar from Foodland and I'll brew some black tea or green tea and then put half black tea, half mango nectar, some ice, and then some ginger syrup and lime, and I'm good to go. And I'm done. So that's it. I'm going to have Pete take it away. He's going to demonstrate some mocktails or beverages. All right, Pete, it's all you.
Thank you, Madonna. So I guess it's finally time for Pauhana drinks. So I'm gonna stand up and we're gonna demonstrate how to make a cocktail or mocktail with each of the syrups you received in your box. So we have our hibiscus syrup and the honey ginger syrup.
I just want everyone to know I've been waiting all day for this moment. Because it means I can have 2 cocktails tonight.
Yes, yes. So really, what you're gonna see here is the syrups are very simple to use. My general rule is you always want to balance the syrup with a little bit of citrus, so lemon or lime, and then the spirit of your choice and some sparkling water. If you want to get fancy, you can throw some herbs in there and make like a mojito or a really fancy cocktail you would see on a magazine. So without further ado, we're gonna get started. We're gonna start with the hibiscus one. So if everyone is ready with it, oh, thank you. So if everyone is ready and wants to get their hibiscus syrup out and a nice tall glass, we'll go ahead and get started.
Let me know if you need anything.
Thank you. So of course the booze is optional, but I'm gonna go ahead and make a real one because it's been a long day. So I love Pau Maui vodka. We've partnered with them for this recipe. They actually distill their vodka from pineapples on Maui. Also a great place to visit. So we're gonna start with 1.5 ounces with Pau vodka. Can you get my ice in here? Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna go in right with our syrup, 0.75 ounces, or about 1 teaspoon, whichever one you have. And of course you can try this. If you think it's not sweet enough, we can add a little bit more. But the hibiscus syrup is gonna give it a really beautiful red color. Michael, can you just move that tilt iPad down a little bit? Yeah, right there, perfect. Okay, and next we're gonna do fresh lemon juice. So I have 1 lemon. I'm just gonna cut it in half. And I'm gonna squeeze 1/2 lemon right in the glass. I use a fork just to kind of poke it to get all the juices flowing and just squeeze it right in there. Looks good already. And next we're gonna use some herbs. So I have mint. Mint is great in this with vodka and hibiscus. It just tastes really fresh. So I have about 5 mint leaves. I'm just gonna kind of break them up and smash them with my fingers to release the flavor and put them right in there. And now I am going to add my ice to the glass. Just like that. If you have a spoon or a chopstick, you can just swirl it around and mix it. Okay, and finally, we're just gonna top it off with some soda water. Always good to have some bubbles. Top it off with soda water. And I'm gonna cut a lemon slice. And now we're gonna top it with a lemon and a mint sprig, just to make it extra fancy. Just like that. And now that looks good enough to drink on a nice hot summer day by a pool.
Everyone's needs to look like that. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And it is a little tart. I like it a little tart. But of course, the hibiscus syrup is great if you want to just add a little bit more to make it a little bit more intense in flavor and color. Okay, I think we should just call it a day after that. Okay, well, who's ready for another drink? We'll just clean this up. Chrissy, do you want a little taste there? More ice, please.
Yep.
Okay, enjoy your cocktail. I'm just gonna clean up and we're gonna get ready
That's good.
for our next Wailua Smash, which uses the honey ginger syrup. So the next cocktail, we're gonna use the honey ginger syrup. We're gonna use whiskey if you have it, fresh lime juice, or if you just have lemons, we can use, you can use a lemon as well. And then mint or any other herb you would like. Okay.
I'm just drinking the cocktail out of frame. Don't mind me.
Okay, we'll get started here. Can you get me the short whiskey glass in there? Perfect. So we have our next glass and we're ready to make the Wailua Smash. So we'll start with the syrup. We're gonna do the same amount of syrup, about a teaspoon or 3/4 of an ounce. But if you like it sweeter, you can add up to an ounce or 2 teaspoons.
Peter, somebody asked a question. Who comes up with these fun names for
You
these
know,
cocktails?
I actually come up with all the names to all the syrups and the recipes myself. I don't mean to take all the credit, but yeah, it all comes from me. So we're starting with our Wailua honey ginger syrup. We named it that because the honey comes from Wailua, and also our ginger is grown on Oahu. We dehydrate the ginger and then boil it in the syrup, which uses raw turbinado sugar, sea salt, and then those whole locally sourced ingredients. Okay. So we have our syrup in the glass. And now I'm going to use Old Poly Road whiskey. Like I said earlier, this is one of our partners. They distill all of their whiskey right in Kailua, and you can go visit their distillery. It's really awesome. So we're going to use 1.5 ounces of Old Poly Road whiskey. So that's just like one big shot if you have a shot glass. And now I'm going to use a lime, but of course you can use a lemon. Cut it in half. And same thing, I'm gonna juice the whole lime right in the glass. Actually, half a lime. That should be about 3/4 of an ounce. Okay, and again, I'm gonna add my ice. We're gonna give this a stir. So this is really a play on a classic mule. You can do mules with vodka, which is the classic Moscow mule, or you can do it with whiskey. So that would be like a Kentucky mule with Kentucky bourbon, or we're doing you could call this a Kailua mule, I guess, because the whiskey comes from Kailua. We're gonna stir that around. And finally, we're gonna top with our friend soda water again. And I'm gonna garnish it the same way as the last one. We're just gonna slice a nice lime wheel right on the top. And of course you could stop there, but if you have fun herbs in the garden, you can always decorate with a fresh sprig of something. So I have some rosemary. And I'm just gonna pop a rosemary sprig right on the corner like that. So there is our Wailua mule or Wailua smash made with our honey ginger syrup. So cheers. Thank you all. And if there's any questions about these recipes, go ahead and leave them in the chat now, and I'll try and answer them for you. If you can check that.
Yeah, I'll check the chat. Let's see.
Perfect.
Ooh, so Carol said that she uses it with club soda and poured in, oh, the ginger on Eggo waffles. Yum.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, you know, the ginger syrup is actually my favorite one to cook with as well. So it's a great substitute for fresh ginger. If you don't have fresh ginger wherever you are, you can use it in a marinade or use it as a really quick teriyaki sauce. I do it just with soy sauce, the honey ginger syrup, and a little bit of sugar, and you're good to go. Also great just drizzled in stir fries or fried rice, things like that.
So somebody also asked, you kind of went over the ginger syrup, but how you make the syrups. Did you go over the Molokai hibiscus?
Yeah, so all of the syrups start with the same base of ingredients. And the ingredients I use are a raw turbinado sugar, which is like the unrefined brown crystals of sugar. I use Hawaiian sea salt, water, and then I boil everything with whole ingredients. So the ginger, I said I dehydrate the ginger and boil it in the syrup. The hibiscus, we actually get already dehydrated from Molokai. From a small farm there, they dehydrate the hibiscus flowers and send them to us. And then we have some other really unique ingredients in our syrups. One I'd like to highlight is the Laie vanilla syrup. About a few months ago, we found a vanilla farmer on the North Shore of Oahu. They're called Laie Vanilla Company, and they make the most amazing, fragrant vanilla beans. One of only 2 vanilla farms in the United States, which is pretty amazing. So it's pretty great to see even our more simple flavors like vanilla have these cool locally sourced ingredients. Of course, our lavender comes from the Ali'i Kula lavender farms on Maui. We get the culinary lavender from them, and then we boil it in the syrup. Our macadamia nuts come from Hawaii Island. And right now, our newest flavor, Olena pineapple, we're getting our Olena from Palolo Valley on Oahu from Cove Farms. And we pair that with pineapple to kind of balance the earthy flavor. And this is a great one for iced teas as well as vodka cocktails. So how's the chat going, Christy?
Good. I think that Madonna was saying that she was going to do a little Q&A.
Yeah, we have some questions for you, Pete. Are you ready?
Okay, great. It's Q&A time.
All right, sweet. Okay, so these are questions from people who registered. So would you like to expand the Pono Potion business to the mainland?
Absolutely. As a team, and when we did our business plan for the venture competition, we always plan on expanding outside of Hawaii. And those are definitely still our plans when we figure out larger scale distribution and manufacturing.
And are you already selling the Pono Potions to businesses outside of Hawaii or just in Hawaii?
We're not yet selling to businesses outside of Hawaii. We really want to expand our brand here on island first. But of course, we are sending Pono Potions all over the country if you purchase on our website.
Great. And are there common misconceptions about owning your own business in Hawaii?
Common misconceptions. That's a really tough question. You and I thought about this last night, Madonna. And I think one of the things we talked about was there's always a perception that you need to have a lot of connections people in high places for you to have a successful business or even start your business. But what I've learned is that you don't need to already have the connections, but just be open to meeting new people and forming relationships, which is so important in Hawaii. And if you do have an idea and you do want to start a business, what I've learned is there's so much support and so many resources here in Hawaii for new small businesses, which has been really great to see.
Awesome. So like, how long do the open bottles last?
Open bottles last 2 weeks if they're left at room temperature on your counter. However, I always recommend refrigerating after opening, and they'll last 2 months. 2 months on the low end. The mac nut tends to spoil the quickest because there's a lot of macadamia nut oils in the syrup, but the other ones last up to 6 months in the fridge.
Is that both for the smaller and larger bottles?
Yes.
And did you make the dehydrated lemons that came in the box?
Yes, I believe I did. I tried to make dehydrated lemons on a limited time schedule, so I do hope they came in the box okay.
I hope it was good. I haven't tried it yet, so if you guys tried it, can you let me know if it's good?
Yeah.
And are you making any sugar-free versions?
That question has come up kind of a lot, and I would love to branch out into sugar-free syrups. Really, it's about finding a sugar substitute that can match flavor and also not have any like harmful chemicals in them. So there are natural alternatives like monk fruit or coconut sugar, which I'm really interested in using.
Oh, I just got a text message. Unfortunately, the dehydrated lemons in your boxes were not made by Pete. They come from the crack seed store. So
Perfect.
just want to let you know.
Man,
I'm sorry.
I should give you credit again.
Okay, so what is the biggest piece of advice you could give someone who wants to move to Hawaii and launch their own business?
I would say definitely first get a feel for the people and the culture and worry about establishing yourself in the community before launching into a business. I think that's one of the mistakes a lot of business people from the United States make, is jumping into it too fast. But as I said, Hawaii has so much culture and relationships, and the people are so important to us. So really trying to establish yourself in the community first.
I totally feel that people in Hawaii, when you start a business, they're so friendly and they want to help support each other. And I could see this when we're at the Lokahi market and all the vendors just like support each other. During the pandemic, our main customer base were people who were the vendors of the pandemic. So that's pretty neat to see that. So what skills, this question is actually directed towards Christy Lay. Christy Lay, are
we'll
you?
Switch for a minute.
Christy Lay, good to see you. So, what skills what skills are you able to take from law school and apply to operating a small business?
I mean, so much of law school really does train you for whatever future career you want, whether or not you go into the legal field, especially at UH. They really care about developing a lot of almost life skills. Attention to detail, being incredibly proactive, and having to stay on top of certain deadlines, and is always something that law school drills into your head. And I was lucky enough to take a few different business law classes, business associations, secure transactions. And a lot of those classes overlapped with some MBA classes as well, which is just a great opportunity. But really, kind of what we were talking about before, the best thing about going to UH Richardson is the people that you meet and this huge community that you make. Everybody wants to help you out and wants to introduce you to somebody who could potentially help you out. So that's been, I mean, just an incredible part of being a part of the UH alumni community. And yeah, and it's really fun for me. You know, I enjoy being a lawyer a lot, but it's really great to be able to branch out and do something a little bit more creative and have this, you know, be able to help my brother launch this business.
That's awesome. Like I totally agree with you about the networking and people want to help out. Because I remember when we were doing the launch pad, we had someone from the 3L year listen to our presentation because they won like second place in last year's competition. So
oh, that's great.
yeah, just to add to that, like everyone's just so friendly and helpful, and they really want to see people in Hawaii succeed. So that's great. I have more questions for Pete.
Okay.
Pete, are you
Switch out
there?
again.
Can you bring
Yes,
a
I'm
cocktail with you? Okay, so what has been your biggest challenge during the pandemic?
That's a great question. You know, there's so many challenges for businesses who have gone through and survived the pandemic. And for me, it was really about rebranding our syrups to be more friendly to retail clientele and a local clientele. Because of COVID-19, all of our wholesale clients were extremely reduced with their volume, of course, and many of them closed down for a certain amount of time. And with that, we really had a choice to make. Are we going to pack it up and go home, or rebrand and relaunch our syrups to be more retail friendly? Another thing we did was when the farmers markets started up again, we started at the Lokaki market, which was a great way to meet the community and get our syrups out to a broader audience. But other than that, I think the most difficult thing has been, what else has been hard during the pandemic? Really just like having a positive attitude and always trying different things.
Pivoting.
Yeah, and it was really difficult even just going out and trying to gain new clients in the midst of the pandemic. But as a business owner, these are things you have to do to keep going. And I think finally, knock on wood, we're coming out of this pandemic. Pono Potions is in a much stronger position to expand.
That would be awesome. So speaking of Pono Potions, what does the number on the label have any meaning? So like for instance, Honey Ginger says number 7 and also number 14. What do those numbers mean?
Yeah, so you can put them all together and get my phone number. No, just kidding. Actually, when I started, I wanted to number all of the flavors I come up with just to keep track of what I was doing, and also to kind of have a record of how many different syrups I could create. So I think we're up to about 17 now. Granted, we only have 7 current flavors on the website, but we do a lot of seasonal flavors. We do a lot of collaborations with coffee shops and restaurants. So all of those flavors are factored in as well. So I kind of like to look back and see all the flavors lined up, like 1 through 17, and just see everything we've created together.
So we've been having a lot of fans here, cocktail fans that love your syrups, and they want to help get the word out about the product. Are you available for hire for private parties?
Yeah, you know, being an entrepreneur, I'm open to anything. Of course, I have a catering and event pass as well. So yeah, I'm definitely open to doing private events.
Yeah, if you guys ever have an opportunity to eat Pete's food, you're so lucky. He cooks as if he's at Moko's Kitchen and beyond. So he's awesome. Okay, will Pono Potions be available in the Big Island and any other outer islands?
I really hope so. As I said, this next year is really about expansion and building our team and being able to ship our products safely and efficiently. So I think the next step after Oahu is branching out to the other islands, Hawaii Island, Maui, and Kauai would be great, especially if they're in retail stores like Foodland Farms, or Whole Foods.
So I know we've talked about how like the challenges of the pandemic. Are there anything else that's been hard as a small business owner here in Hawaii?
Well, I think everyone in Hawaii can relate. Things are incredibly expensive to ship here, and just expenses, rent, and prices are through the roof in Hawaii. So yeah, that's what the small businesses have to deal with on a daily basis. And I was telling Madonna that one of the biggest challenges when I was starting out is actually getting bottles here. We use high quality glass bottles that I made in the USA, but just getting them here with shipping costs is a huge hurdle. And then you have to run into things like storage and yeah, keeping them cool. So there's a lot of little things that are challenges, but it's just about how you deal with those and work through them on a daily basis. Are there any other challenges, Christy?
I'm sure there's a lot. Yeah. Yeah, storage, kitchen space. You know, making sure it's a challenge, I think, and you know, the thing that makes your product so unique and interesting is using ingredients specifically from the islands and highlighting, you know, each different island with the different ingredients. Is, of course, it's, you know, it's going to be a little challenging, but at the same time, that's the greatest thing about Pono potions. So yeah, good things. I can't really think of any more challenges.
Yeah, you know, another obvious one is just like supply chain management. Working with these small farms is really what we're all about, but sometimes things are out of season or you can't get a certain product. So then you have to be able to pivot and find another purveyor in a really short time frame. So yeah.
So do you have other passions that you might like to create a business out of?
Well, I think you mentioned it, Madonna. I always love food and cooking. So that's my main passion. I started out as a chef, and I would love to get back to doing more food products. So Pono Potions is my first product because I love it. I love being able to work with these small farms, but also I want to create new things under the Pono brand. I would love to do like spice mixes and marinades, and even go into more prepackaged foods in the future.
That sounds like fun. I look forward to it. So what is your current best-selling Pono potion?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, for the last almost 2 years, our best-selling syrup is the macadamia nut syrup. Of course, mac nuts are super popular here, and we use fresh Big Island mac nuts in our syrup. But what really makes this popular is one of our main clients is Kai Coffee. And they have a latte called the Kai Latte on their menu. And they sell so many of them. And they all use our Maikai mac nut syrup. So I owe so much of our success and really the start of my business to Kai Coffee. So I'll be forever grateful for them. Yeah.
Can the little bottles go on the airplane?
Yes, so I would recommend that these 8-ounce bottles for the airplane. They have a tight cap and they have a heat seal on them. So they should be totally good to go in your luggage. However, they're too big for your carry-on, unfortunately. Also, within the next couple of months, I want to relaunch our Pono packs. So you can choose 4 smaller 4-ounce flavors in a Pono Potions box. So that's what we're working on, is rebranding those and getting new gift boxes available. So those will be great to travel with as well because they're already prepackaged.
Awesome. And how can people get more cocktail and food recipes to utilize the hibiscus and honey syrups that they got from the Pono website? And just let you know, this person purchased the syrup directly from the company instead of the alumnus package. And they said mahalo.
Nice. Well, thank you for your purchase. And like I said, our Instagram will be great to follow with weekly recipe videos. And definitely check our website once a week. We will be sending more more newsletters and updates from our website to everyone who subscribes. So that's going to be the best place to really see more detailed recipes on how to use Pono potions.
We do have a YouTube channel, and I think we only have like 1 or 2 videos up, but hopefully we can post more. So since the kit is for this event are not being mailed internationally, can you suggest substitutes we can use for Pono potions until we be able to travel to Hawaii to buy some?
Yeah, that's a tough one because we do use so many unique local Hawaii ingredients. However, like I said, we really want to expand internationally soon. So hopefully you'll be able to purchase Pono potions or visit Hawaii very soon. But if you want to make a fun cocktail at home, experiment with your own locally sourced ingredients from wherever you live. Maybe a unique spice or herb you can boil in a simple syrup. So just with sugar and water and whatever spices you have on hand, you can make something really unique.
Great, thank you so much. And so, does Pono Potions partner with other Hawaii companies? And if so, in what ways?
Yeah, so that's really what we're all about. From the ingredients we source all of our flavorings locally. Some of our main vendors include the Elite Cool Lavender Farms on Maui, the Laie Vanilla Company, which I mentioned earlier. We're working with Island Princess on the Big Island now for our macadamia nuts. And then all of our retailers and coffee shops as well are locally owned in Hawaii. We actually just started distributing our retail bottles to Namea, Hawaii, which is a Native Hawaiian bookstore and retailer located at Ward, right next to Piggy Small's restaurant. So that's a great place to go and check out Pono potions along with other great Native Hawaiian goods.
Oh, thank you so much, Pete. And what retail locations sell your products?
Yeah, so really just a couple right now. The refinery is at Holoholo Mall. I mentioned Namea, Holoholo Distilleries. Kai Coffee sells our macadamia nut syrup. And then Bean About Town on Wailea Avenue in Kaimuki has all of our smaller retail bottles as well. But hopefully within the next few months, there's going to be a lot more retail locations. And yeah, you can just check back on our website for all of those updates.
Okay, thanks so much. And just a couple more questions. What is something you know now that you wish you had known when you started Pono Potions?
Yeah, I think when I started my business, I really focused on doing everything myself, and I thought I had to do everything from the shopping to the cooking to the marketing and everything in between. But as I mentioned, what I've realized in Hawaii, there's so many people and so many avenues for help for small businesses, whether it be accounting and marketing. And that's one of the biggest things I took from my college career at UH. The PACE Center at UH was so supportive to me when launching my business. And they even have things like the professional in residence program, where they bring in highly respected professionals to help you along the way. So I think that's one thing I wish I knew, is just to ask for help a little bit sooner.
Right. And also, like, how did you come about like creating Pono Potions?
That's a good question. I think we hit on some of the points. I was a bartender and a manager at Moku Kitchen. And one of my jobs was actually making and creating all of the syrups for their bar program. So that's really when like the big light bulb moment happened, when I realized I could make something really unique that embodied Hawaii that wasn't already on the market. And then I would go to my favorite coffee shops and they would be using mass-produced mainland syrups. So I definitely thought I could provide something unique that represented Hawaii.
That's awesome. So, Pete, I know you told us earlier that Ali'i lavender is like your favorite, but is that really your favorite? Like, what is your top favorite
Oh, for syrups. That's a tough one. You know, I use the lavender every day just in my drip coffee, and it adds a really nice flavor. But right now I'm really enjoying the honey ginger syrup, especially in this cocktail. So I'd say the honey ginger is definitely a close second.
And what is your favorite beverage to make using the syrup?
My favorite beverage to make. You know, one thing we've made a lot recently is just hibiscus mimosas, which is also the easiest drink to make. You just put about half a teaspoon of hibiscus syrup in a champagne glass and then top it off with sparkling wine. And it's a really great afternoon cocktail, brunch cocktail. But also I make a lot of flavored lemonades, as I mentioned, for the Lokahi Kailua market. So I also love experimenting with lemonades and creating new flavors.
Random. Okay, this is totally super random. And I don't know if you're up for it, Pete, but can you just do like a random cocktail demonstration? Either if
Yeah, right now.
either with lemonade or whatever, just bring it.
Yeah.
Just bring it. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely do something. I'll do something a little bit, a little extra fancy or a little bit weird, but just for fun, we're gonna do it. So give me 1 minute. Madonna, if you have any other questions for Christy Lay while I get set up.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Take your time, P. I'll go ahead and have a convo with Christy Lay.
Oh, boy.
Christy Lay, where are you?
Hello again.
Random question. Is Michael in the house, our social media manager?
Yes, he is. He was helping us go live on Instagram as well. So.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to ask him a question if he's free or not.
He's running around right now.
Oh, okay. Anyways, I was
You
going
can
to
ask a
introduce
question.
you guys to Michael. He's our social media manager. So all the things that you see on Instagram are posted by him. He also helped with decorating our setup. So thanks, Michael, wherever you are.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Okay, so like Christy Lay, what I know
Yeah.
you said that you use the Pono potions for your coffee. Do you have a favorite cocktail that you make?
That is a good question. So yes, I am not a mixologist or a bartender the way my brother is. So I can give you a very simple cocktail recipe using the ginger. It's something that is probably my favorite cocktail that I make at my house. Super simple. We've got whiskey, ice, ginger syrup, club soda. It's incredible. That's all you need, really. If I get really fancy, I'll put a little lime juice in there. Brightens it up a little bit, but that's the great thing about a syrup. You can try to be super fancy, and there's so many like creative ways to use them, or you can be really simple about it, because the flavor just it makes everything taste good without a whole lot of effort. So if you don't want to do the full mixologist thing, you can still have amazing cocktails with Pono potions.
Yeah, that's a good thing to mention. And that's why hibiscus, people love the hibiscus in cocktails as well, because you can just do a vodka soda or a gin and tonic and then put some hibiscus syrup, and it just looks really beautiful and adds a nice flavor.
Yeah, the Molokai hibiscus really, it's a beautiful red color. So if you're trying to make drinks for a group of people, it's a scene stealer, really. What I really like to do too is have two different not cocktails, but two different drink options, one with alcohol and one without alcohol. No, we're making cocktails right now, but it's so easy also to just do a mocktail. Maybe instead of using the alcohol, you can use a little lemonade, and have options maybe for your kids, and they could be fancy with their cocktail glasses too.
So random question, you know how like beer goes good with like fried chicken and like wine goes good with like steak. So what does Pono, what food item pairs really well with Pono, with a Pono cocktail?
Anything.
Ooh, food item with Pono cocktails.
Yeah, that's good. A little pairing.
Yeah, so I really love like light and refreshing cocktails. So the hibiscus with lemon and gin would be great. So I would like fish options like a ceviche or like shrimp cocktail or like a whole roast chicken, like lemon chicken would be really great. With something like the whiskey cocktail we made, you could definitely do like red meat. So I'm thinking like Kupu ribeye. That sounds great with a whiskey cocktail. But it really depends on how you're creating your cocktail. But usually like with vodka or gin, I like to go lighter with something like fish.
Yeah, a good hamburger, they say in the show.
Ooh, yeah, good
You're making me hungry.
hamburger.
Oh, we have a random question. So on the candied magnets that you showed earlier on the website, are they flavored with the syrups or what? Or
Yeah, so they are. What's cool about the mac nuts is they're actually flavored with our macadamia nut syrup. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. But we roast the mac nuts so they're super crunchy, and we add Hawaiian sea salt to the top. So it's kind of sweet, kind of salty, really nutty and delicious.
that's
Yeah, so
awesome.
are we ready for a cocktail?
Yeah, let's do it, Pete. Show us what you got.
Okay, sounds good. So since I talked so much about the lavender syrup, we're gonna do a lavender cocktail, just a demonstration. And as I said, this one is a little bit more advanced because we're gonna use an egg. So it's gonna be really light and frothy. So this is how you would make like a classic whiskey sour, but we're gonna use vodka and lavender today. So I'm gonna start with about a half an ounce. Sorry, I have a lot of directors. So we're gonna start with a half an ounce of our Ali lavender syrup. Just right in our cocktail shaker. And this one, we are gonna shake the cocktail. So a few more steps to it. And then we are gonna go in with fresh lemon juice again. So really like a classic egg white cocktail, the fresh lemon juice actually cooks the egg so it's safe to drink. And it also works on the proteins of the egg, so it creates a super light and frothy drink. So this time we're gonna add a whole lemon, the juice of one whole lemon. Okay, so right now we have our Ali lavender syrup, the juice of one lemon, and now we're gonna get some vodka. And I'm going to use 1.5 ounces, but you could use up to 2 ounces if you're making a martini. So, you know, if quarantine really got you down that day, you can fill it up to the top. Okay. And of course, our friend the egg white. So I'm just using a whole egg, and I'm going to just separate the egg right into the cocktail shaker. Doesn't that look delicious? Okay, you don't want to get any of the yellow because then it's not going to froth up how we want it. So that's perfect, just like that. And like I said, herbs always make a cocktail more interesting. So I have a little sprig of rosemary. I'm just going to throw that in there for fun as well. So now we have all our ingredients: vodka, lavender, rosemary, and an egg white with fresh lemon juice. And I'm actually not adding any ice to the cocktail shaker yet. I'm going to shake it for about 10 seconds with no ice in it, just to get the egg white aerated, and it's going to start making kind of a meringue sort of texture. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the ice. And now I'm going to shake it really hard for about 25 seconds. Okay, so now as you see, we have a really white frothy cocktail.
Hey Pete, can you like
Yeah.
describe to us the texture of the egg on the cocktail?
Absolutely. So the egg is going to make the cocktail slightly more viscous, and it's it's going to be very bubbly and frothy. So think of like a freshly whipped lemon meringue pie. So this is kind of the same flavors as a lemon meringue pie, actually. So now, the strainer over there. So now the classic way to serve a sour is actually in a martini glass or a cocktail glass like this. And as you see, it's just so white and frothy. And this looks so good to me right now.
What is this drink called again?
This drink, what is this drink called?
I feel like you just made it up.
I
on the
would call
spot,
it
so-
an Alili sour because it's a lavender vodka sour essentially. But if you're looking for a recipe, it's a classic vodka sour, just with our Pono Potions lavender. Okay, so now we have our nice frothy martini there. We could stop here and it looks amazing. Or I actually have some Peychaud bitters. It's like a classic bar bitters from the Prohibition era. And you can like make a fun design. So I like to just like splash it and like make one line like that. And then you can actually make a beautiful little feathered design just like that.
So fancy. Can you like put that glass up close to the camera?
Where's the camera?
Wow.
So,
Cheers,
yeah.
everyone.
So
Looks
cheers.
amazing. Can you drink it and tell us how it tastes like?
I'm not just saying this, but it's really, really good.
Cheers.
Cheers. So
This
yeah,
is
you
so
really,
amazing.
it's actually really good to lavender. What I love about my syrups is the flavor comes out really strongly without using very much. So I really wanted to balance the flavor with the sweetness.
Sweet. So that concludes our demonstration. And I'm going to pass it on to Miley.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Okay, wait, there's just one quick question that somebody's asking is it safe to use raw egg whites? I think you guys should answer that.
Yeah, so it is safe because again, you have to use fresh lemon juice, and then shaking it with the egg white actually quote unquote cooks the egg white, or like kind of pasteurizes it with the fresh lemon juice. So a lot of cocktail bars use fresh egg white, but if you're not comfortable, you can buy a carton of pasteurized egg white and then just use about an ounce of egg white.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This was probably the best event, which is like make your own cocktails. We're so excited to be able to feature you, and I love that people are excited about Pono Potions and looking forward to more of them.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Before we all go, can everybody hold up their cocktail, and we're gonna take a Zoom photo. We'd do a group photo if we were all together, but this is our new reality. So if everyone can hold up their drinks that they made, and we're gonna take a quick picture. You guys ready? Okay. I don't know who's taking it, but cheers.
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 Got it? Okay. Thank you guys so much. Everybody that's on, thank you guys so much for joining us and for attending our very first Holoholo at home. We're excited to bring more of these to you. So keep an eye out. And I think we are going to be, are you guys going to chat? We're going to chat you guys the Pono Potions website in case anybody wants to write those down. But if not, thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
And one more thing, we do have a promo code if anyone wants to purchase our syrups online today. So
We will chat that too.
Yeah, so the promo code is Pono Holoholo. Gee, all one word. And you can just enter that promo code at checkout for 10% your entire order.